listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane this morning. You can text the show on 81215, follow us on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or you can directly email the Absolute Radio website.
We've had a tweet already, Frank.
A tweet?
Yes, this is from Ricky Butters. He says, is it just me?
Thanks for the tip.
Do you know Ricky Butters? Yeah.
Or if all else fails, you could always fall back on a career as a James Woods lookalike. That was to you, I should say.
Yes. Now, James Woods, who I don't know if people
No, but thanks
still
for the tip.
Really, yes. I went out with someone for a while back in Birmingham in the old time. And at the end of our relationship, we had an enormous row, you know, the usual.
Oh, yeah.
And she said, I only ever went out with you because you look like James Woods.
Oh.
That was her parting shot.
She took away
Because they had
one
no
hand.
Google in those days. It took me 3 months to find out who it was.
Well, you got the pictures late, didn't you, in Birmingham?
But I haven't heard of him for ages. Is he still operational?
Oh, he's still got
Woodso?
it. He was on the cover of Cigar Aficionado.
No.
He was.
Fair enough.
Is that a fact?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
That's all right, isn't it?
Okay.
I thought you had strident opinions about the cigar smoker.
Yeah, but, you know, I don't think people think I'm like him in his core personality.
Right.
He's got that sort of gaunt, big, four-headed, desperate look that I try to carry off. That's what he's got, James Woods. If you're listening, James.
Big fan of Absolute on a Saturday morning, I've heard.
He'll be there.
I find that a bit unsettling.
I find it a bit Harold Wilson.
Yeah, it is a bit Harold Wilson. I got a car recently. A car in which I didn't buy a car.
you.
Someone drove me.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Woo! Get you.
And when I walked out, he said the driver said to me, "I'm supposed to give you a hug."
Oh no.
And I thought, well, they've taken a new policy, this company, and they've got to step to... I said, I'm sorry, I'm unclear of your meaning. He said, well, I'm Emily's regular driver.
He's my regular...
Oh,
was it
no.
Steve Driver? I call him Steve Driver.
I didn't ask his name.
Okay.
Let's face it.
Steve Driver?
And he said, oh, yes, I drive Emily to the show on Saturday mornings.
Oh.
And he said, she said, if I drive you, I should give you a hug. But we decided
did.
against it. I'm sorry to let you down.
Oh, I was thinking some Brokeback Mountain thing.
But, you know, I said, oh, she's great, isn't she? He said, oh, yeah, she's such a laugh and all that. He said, she's very good on the roots as well. He says, and I thought, surely she does those before she comes out. But he said, what? She's worked out a route from her house to Absolute, which avoids all speed bumps, so she can do her makeup in the back of the car.
That's 100% right.
That's really the Pathfinder.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Always
Impressive.
putting the effort in, Frank.
And I said, you know, because by now I'd moved into banter mode.
Yeah.
I said, well, there's not many men seen Emily without her makeup. And then I thought, actually, there probably are quite a lot. Yes. I feel like that when there's not many women seen me shave.
Is that right?
And that's deliberate. Because I do a sort of a shaving face.
Do you?
When you sort of have to pull your mouth and that into horrible...
Yes. I know the
pucker a
position,
bit.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Can I demonstrate?
Yeah.
Like that.
And
And
be on a
I
webcam somewhere.
I think if anyone saw that, they might... it might cause some sort of fissure in our relationship.
I'm glad you saw Steve Driver, though.
He seems a very nice chap.
He is, and you know what I admire him for? His discretion.
Well,
Well, I don't know, he told me that.
until he fessed up about your speed
Hold on,
bump
you haven't waited to wait for the other stuff he told me about.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I'll tell you what, I missed the show last week.
Oh, we missed
Do you mean you didn't listen?
I didn't listen. I was away.
Right.
Emily was in the chair, as our regulars will know.
That's something of a relief, Al. He doesn't know yet.
Yes.
You don't-
And I haven't been caught urinated in public again. That's what happened last time I didn't do the show.
Yeah, but you don't know what we did, Frank.
No.
I can't remember what we did.
I'll tell you what we
Did
did.
we do something bad?
I think Big Daddy's going to be off your mad, Mr. Allen. I might have instigated a bit of a selfie war with Joan Collins, I'm
I
afraid.
forgot about that. I think I deleted
Joan
that from
Collins.
my mind.
Well, you know that Ellen took that selfie for the Oscars, 3.2 million
yes.
retweets.
Yes.
Joan Collins did one, 341 retweets.
Oh,
Of
okay.
her and who are the other people in it, Al? Pixie
Mussolini.
Lott and
Oh, Pixie.
Sir
Lott.
Ben Kingsley.
yeah.
Okay.
So I decided to do one of us, just out of curiosity to see how many it would get. I'm afraid we had a coloured photocopy of you held up. It was all curling at the edges.
I'm happy with that.
Okay.
Especially if it was a little bit too red.
Yeah.
I like that sort of singing detective look.
We got 676 retweets, though.
That
Whoop,
is
whoop.
more than Sir Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
After what he's done for this country.
So
And India.
Yeah, he did a lot for India, did he?
this
Yeah.
show is somewhere between, as you pointed out, Al, Ellen DeGeneres and Joan Collins, then,
Yeah.
we can reveal.
Well, that's good to know.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
glad
well,
to-
we'll keep working trying to finalise that position where we are on that scale. That spectrum, that DeGeneres
You
Collins
scratching
spectrum.
a bit of stubble, though.
I am scratching a bit of stubble. Listen, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've got me whiskers.
Uh,
Don't worry about that. I'm not some sort of eunuch.
we don't.
I'm not
often-
eunuch pal. That's what you mean.
We don't often cross-promote on this show, but we've had a text from 546 saying, I was in the pub last night when I got a distressing text from my mate John saying, Frank Skinner on last leg. I'm glad to hear you on the radio this morning.
I should point out the last leg is a television programme. Do see. Yes, last week I was on holiday. I went away for a weekend with
Nice. Did you
with a
have
lot
good
of
fun?
adults and children. Is what I went away with. And at one point, the holiday fell through. The company we were going away with dissolved.
Oh.
No.
Yeah. To be fair, they were made of ice.
Oh,
Yeah.
dear.
You know those ice companies that are so
Is it
popular.
an ice break?
Yeah. And no, it sort of disappeared, the company, and so I thought, oh, we're not going away after all. So I phoned Daisy,
Oh, yeah.
the producer of the show, and I said, guess what? I'm not. It was the 5th anniversary show, 5th anniversary of
Yeah.
our time. I said, guess what? I'm not going away after all.
Oh, what did she say?
So I can do the show.
What did she say?
And she said, oh well.
Oh,
Thing
no.
is, everyone's in place now.
Is that what she
She
said?
said, can you imagine how I felt? My 5th anniversary show. She said, everyone's in place now.
Everyone's
I
in
said,
place.
oh, well, I just thought, it might be good if... And she said, well, it's up to you. Oh, can you imagine it?
When thing is, when she took that call, we were all in place. We were
Yeah.
right here, ready
Well,
to...
I felt... I can't tell you how I felt.
Oh,
We
right.
can't tell you how we
I
felt.
cried.
The same thing.
And I'd seen 8 magpies the day before.
How, did you start it out then? Did you say, oh yeah, well I didn't want to do it anyway?
Hang on, you saw 8 magpies?
Oh, yeah. I saw 8 magpies in
Is
a
that
tree.
a show in the West End?
You know, I salute if I see one magpie. I've mentioned this before. I always salute.
Yeah.
Right.
And I have that dilemma. Actually, if anyone knows about this, I'd love to know. If there's any people who are sort of connoisseurs of superstition, what often happens to me is I see one magpie, I salute, and then another one comes, and I thought, well, I've diluted the one for sorrow, but have I also diluted? Do I not get the 2 for joy thing now because I've saluted? Has that broken the spell? Anyway, I saw 8 magpies in a tree, and I had to go against my better judgment and Google to work out what that signified. More soon.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So I had to Google 8 magpies.
Oh yeah.
It's a wish.
Is it?
Oh, that's rubbish, isn't it?
That's what. Well, no, it's great if you know at the time you can have a wish, but obviously you can't wish retrospectively on these creatures.
Well, how long did your Google take, surely?
Well, I didn't want a
Straight to the
smartphone in the street. I frown on it.
All right.
You know, those people that just walk along thinking everyone else has to get out the way for them.
I know. I'm one of them.
Oh, okay.
Of course, the joy of having a wish is that you can just do it. You don't even need to see 8 magpies. I could have one now if I wanted.
Go on then.
I've just done one.
Wow.
You don't want to know.
Yeah.
The good news is I was very careful what I wished for. So that's what they say in it.
Yeah, you have to be careful about that. Otherwise, if you get what you wish for, it might be something that's not actually good for you.
That's right, yeah, that's the theory behind it.
I'm saying that now quite carefully because people might be listening.
You both sound absolutely plastered.
But come on, hold it.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Hold it. Hold it.
When you wish, what I was saying.
When you wish. Anyway,
Sober
listen.
up.
I went away for the weekend.
Oh, how was it?
And it was lovely, actually.
So you got a new
Good.
place.
We got a new place. We were helped out
Nobody
by the
dissolved
kindness of
second
others.
time round.
Boz, my son, had the best time. And
Yeah.
one problem, he's really, really got into seesawing.
Oh, lovely.
The trouble is with seesawing is you don't want to be the only child who likes it.
Yeah.
You don't want Chris Biggins the other end either.
Well, there's nobody. You couldn't really put anyone the other end other than a child. So there's a lot of him sitting on one end of the.
That's not true, Frank. Me during Fashion Week, you could put me the other
Yeah,
end.
but you know, you weren't there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like it's why I've never really got into board games because you have to have someone else who'll play with you.
Yeah.
You don't want to sit there looking at a laid out Cluedo.
True. Yeah.
And guess who? Oh, just sitting there waiting, hoping that somebody
Someone will
phones.
come along to play.
Yeah, and he got it. That's awful. So yeah, it was lovely though. It was. I like being with a gang because I'm never really with a gang. I'm quite lonely. It's the truth.
Lonely. You alright? Just been away with a lot of people.
I know. It's when I come back that I really felt it.
How was the gang? Were they okay? You didn't do any of the...
Oh, it wasn't the ones I had a difficult time with.
I was going to
Well,
say...
no, he can't see
Didn't
them
do any of the
anymore.
previous trip antics, did you? Like,
It's some of the-
I must spend more time with normal people or whatever.
Oh, no, I'm physically ill when you tell me that story
no,
again.
I didn't say that. No,
I'm afraid we don't cook, that sort of stuff. You know,
Oh,
It was, no, that was a different group. This group, it's nice. We did things like have a quiz.
Oh, yeah, did you write it? You
Oh, I
like
feel a
that
bit
quiz,
stressed
don't
at the thought of you having a quiz because you are quite competitive, Frank.
Well, I did
Oh.
15-1 this week.
Oh,
Speaking
how
of
did it go?
quizzes,
you? Excellent.
at least I knew what my chances of winning were from the off.
Is it still William G. Stewart? The help?
No. You know, this is the modern world.
on.
It was Adam Hills.
Oh, lovely. Oh, he's good.
Yes, and I was. There was 15 of us, obviously.
Question or nominate?
Well, it was. I can't say what happened. Obviously,
Okay.
I can tell you a few. I was next to Hilary Devey.
Oh.
And she kept saying to me, I mean, who could know these? They're obscure, so obscure. These questions, they're the sort of questions you know them or you don't. I thought, well, that's a fair point. Fair point. There's one point they asked a question about it was some TV programme, and she turned to me again quite loud and said, "It's no good asking me about television." Because when the television was on, I was working in my dad's pub. And I wanted to say, well, it's still on. Do you know it's still on? We're on it. We're on it now. This is television. But she seemed to think the television that something happened in 1968.
Once.
Yeah. That night television was on. I was in the dad's pub, missed
I
it.
weren't there for that 3 hours.
Oh,
Frank, do you still... Can you tell me a bit with the format? Because they used to... your third light would go off. No spoiler alerts, but the third light would go off and then you'd have to sit there in the dark.
Well, you have to stand there now
Do
in
you
the
stand?
dark. Yeah, so
I could
people...
give you a seat.
I can't tell any names,
No,
but
I
a
know.
well-known politician stood in the dark for, I would say, 17 minutes.
Oh.
Just stood in the dark. It was like the opening of The Third Man.
Oh, yeah.
I'll come back to this.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
Yes, so there was a bit where,
This is 15-1.
yes, again, I can't say what happened on it, you know, but I will tell you that there was a question that, for some camera angle reason, Adam Hills had to do twice. So he asked the question, and you think one thing about quizzes, you learn. That's one of the good things about it. So he asked a question about the head of the Olympic Committee or something of that nature, and the person didn't know it, and he told them the answer. And then they said, "Can you do that again?" So he did it again, and I still didn't know the answer. Now that's not good, is it?
No.
I've often thought, if I watch Mastermind again the next night, would I get all the specialist questions? But I wouldn't.
Wow.
I watched it once, and it was about the Aztecs.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, I think if I guess every one of these, I'll get one. So it said, which king ruled Aztec Empire from 11... And
What
I'd
did
go,
you say?
Mekahahu. And what was the name of the ancient city? And I'd go, Meglep. And just do that. And I thought, I bet if I get one, it'd be such a thrill. But
No joy.
didn't work out.
No joy was my guess.
No.
Oh, I look forward to watching that 15 to
You should
1.
try that. I would encourage anyone, when you're watching a Mastermind, have a crack at the...
Yeah.
yeah.
Just have a guess.
If it's something about the Enigma...
You can do it with
code.
the Turkish language, to be honest.
Can you?
Sorry, what were you saying about the Enigma code?
Well, you can say which scientist. You can just say, Brian Ells. And wouldn't it be great if you got one?
Yeah, 'cause
Did you
Charles
that-
Babbage sounds made up,
Yes.
Yeah.
doesn't he?
Yeah, who's that?
He invented the computer.
Okay, I'm going to get one.
Sorry, it's technology-based,
I'm going to get one.
not a computer.
Yeah, do it.
Don't they get hot? I seem to remember they get hot.
They do get hot.
That had
but
been
they're
a room.
very
where they
Tell you
kept-
what,
we
they-
had one at a factory I worked at. That had been a frozen room.
Do you know what, Frank? They take a long time to warm up as well.
But they're very
Very noisy.
useful
Who
for
do?
finding out
The computers.
Oh,
what to
yes.
do in the eventuality that you see 8 magpies. That's the
right.
best use for a computer these days.
Yeah, it is. So,
There's other uses.
Frank, you were spotted this week
okay.
by Ian from Gravesend.
Okay.
I missed you the other week, Frank. I think he's referring to last week's show. Saw you walking the street. Sounds a bit...
Yes.
and thought what I could do to get your attention that wasn't shouting, Frank, you legend. So I threw a bit of gravel at you. Not to hurt you, but it's the best I could think of that didn't involve my shoe. Anyway, it missed you. And you didn't ever find out I existed, or that I'm funny, so I thought I would inform you.
Yes, now, Alan and Emily asked me earlier why I was wearing an eye patch. No, I didn't. I missed the gravel completely. But I mean, I'm happy for people to come and say hello rather than throw road surface at me.
Probably a good rule.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to go. Have you ever done that when you go around someone's house like they do in the films and throw stones at the window to get them up?
Not since I was dating Saddam Hussein.
Now then you would throw a shoe.
My flip-flop I threw, yeah.
No, I haven't done that. Is that...
Do you remember when the statue come down and that man hit it with a flip-flop?
Oh, I
yeah.
loved that.
Disrespectful.
It's good.
I know.
But did you not think that was right?
I know he was a curate's egg, Saddam Hussein, but, don't take it out on art. That's
Is
what
that
I
your
always say.
take on Saddam, that he was a curate?
It was a curate's
You
egg.
know what? I think me and my friends have adopted that. If you're angry with a man, you just get a photo of him and bash it with your Jimmy Choo. We actually do that.
And does that work? Does that make it feel better?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, good.
Jimmy Choo, he was lucky to miss the rhyming slang train, wasn't he? What could I do with it? Do with a Jimmy Choo.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We've had a text in that I'd like to read. Morning, Frank. Comedy Northern Bloke and the Divine One. I'm not sure I'm happy with my handle there.
That's all right, isn't it?
Very happy with mine.
I'll
It's got
take
comedy
it.
in it.
I'll take it. The Divine One is the winner, isn't it? Fashion and sport question. I'm taking my son, 5, to his first match to
Some
see...
of the names they give him now,
Yeah.
named after the boy band.
or he's got 4 children already and he's just gone...
Oh, like Charlie Chan, number 1 son.
Call him 5.
Yeah.
I think you should have done the Ian McMillan voice there, to be honest.
Oh, that's how he used. Oh, yeah. There were different times. We didn't know, you see.
Anyway,
I might start calling him Buzz, number 1 son.
that's a good idea. I'm taking my son 5 to his first match to see the Mighty Blades crush Wolves, who will be resplendent in footy kit, scarf, hat, etc. I,
Wolves.
at 46, will be in smart, non-badged casual. Does the team think that there should be a new rule which men past a certain age, from wearing ban men from wearing replica sports kit? I think
This is why he's not on the news.
No, there's a word missing in the text. It ain't my bad. I'm just doing my best with what I've got
you have
here.
to amend as you go. That's how it works.
That's what I was
Reading
doing.
out loud.
Also, Trevor McDonald never says "ain't my bad," although he should.
Miss
No,
M,
but he did get a knighthood for reading out loud.
Miss M, please feel free to feel nauseous. John 106 from Sunny Cultural Sheffield. So there.
Well, I think he's correct. I like to wear a scarf.
Just a scarf.
I've forgotten I've
no
forgotten
football shirt.
Not just a scarf.
What did he ask? I can't remember.
Like when you wear just your
Mate,
pyjama top.
If I went to the Qatar World Cup, I might wear just a scarf. It's gonna be steamy out there.
Oh, I'm going to wear hot pants to that.
I'm just going to wear a rainbow scarf to that. That's
I might wear
like that.
I might wear really high cut denim cut-offs,
Nice.
God.
like Daisy Duke.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that the texter in wanted what we were going to wear to
No.
the Qatar World Cup.
No.
No, but they're getting it.
That's what he's
Well,
getting.
Mine, just
to
for
be
the
honest,
record,
I don't plan that far ahead. You don't. You just don't.
hot pants, but then a fleece up top just to confuse the men.
Oh, I might wear a gilet.
Oh, yeah.
Gilet.
Gilet, yeah.
Tim Sherwood style.
Body warmer, old school.
What was anyway?
No, I take his point.
I do.
mean, you do see lots of people. I mean, the thing is with football shirts, they are designed for professional athletes.
Yeah.
Exactly, Frank.
And,
Somewhat unforgiving on...
and I
mere
really,
mortals.
it's not so much that because most people look terrible anyway. But I like a scarf. I do like to wear a scarf at a game, and the replica shirt has replaced the scarf. Really.
You're sort of a Mancini kind of fan, aren't you? He wears one, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Even though
well-
he's got the job.
Yeah.
Takes a trip to the club shop when he
I've
first
always
starts,
worn a
doesn't he?
scarf, though. Do you know what I mean? There were no people didn't wear replica shirts when I
You
started
had one
going.
knitted by your mum, one of those, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Exactly. So
You
I
wore
think
a replica kit a lot during the 90s with Dee Badil.
yeah, but I wore it professionally.
You did.
Different.
But I remember seeing a crowd shot at the '66 World Cup final. There was people with big rosettes and stuff like that, and then there was a guy there who was just like a '60s groovy guy in a map and a Mac and a little thin tie. And I thought, yeah, that's the way. That's the way to get to the World Cup final.
Cool.
No, not a hit, no badge, nothing.
Yeah.
Just so yeah, I'm with Dad on this one.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
It would be great to start a sort of underground campaign to stop people wearing collars at games. That you just go dress normally.
Go in your normal clothes. And it would be
Because-
good for pubs as well
I'd like to
beforehand,
go-
wouldn't it? Because some of them say
No
no,
colours?
football colours.
Yeah.
I'd go full-length ball gown like Young Musician of the Year.
That's how I go
Ruffles.
to any Huddersfield Town game. I always go in that.
And
That's
also,
the
you'd be
same.
defying sponsorship because the sponsors on the shirts. You'd
That's
be
right.
you'd be
Yeah.
fighting commercialism in football because they're selling of the shirts at high prices.
Yeah.
This is it.
And I think you'd be making a statement that the surface supporting of a team, what's on the outside, is all about the players.
Yeah.
The one on the inside often just think about themselves. But with the football fans, the team colours are on the inside. They don't need to wear them on the outside.
It's really...
It's nearly a rant. And I hate a rant.
Frank doesn't like rants.
No.
However, the reader,
I
John...
like Esther Ranson.
What
In
else?
case there's any misunderstanding about that.
No, I don't.
Oh.
John
Remember when I
106
went to do work experience and she was rude to me?
Oh.
What did she say, Daisy?
She said, can't just look nice and know people.
You
Yeah.
can't just look nice and know people.
Can't walk in here looking beautiful and just knowing people.
I see you've opted to beautiful. Yeah. I could see the terror in your face when Daisy had reduced it to nice.
Don't downgrade me.
I hated Daisy's amends were awful.
The chap here that has
She's
texted
wrong, of
in
course.
has said, feel free to feel nauseous, Emily, and that's stumbled upon something that's happened in my
Lovely.
life quite a few times.
What, you felt nauseous?
No, recently.
I feel nauseous.
I've had a few people say, "Oh my God, that makes me feel sick" about things recently. My manager was talking to me. He was boasting about how he's got a new money clip. I mean, what? Sounds to me like he's not busy enough. But
What was the nature of the money clip?
Sounds to me like he's doing all right for himself.
He puts his money and his credit card and maybe a few receipts into a clip, and he said, "I just have the coins in my pockets."
It's a bit Kanye, that.
And I said, "Oh, I've just got a wallet." And he went, "Oh, the thing I hate about a wallet is the unnecessary fold." Started talking about the unnecessary fold because they become all big. And
That's what I hate about getting older.
Honestly, I went, "Oh, what, like on my wallet?" And I got my wallet on it. He went, "Oh my God, that makes me feel sick." He said it made him feel sick. It's not that bad. It's just a normal. I've got it here.
Yeah, but yours.
Can we have a look?
If I remember rightly,
I mean, it is gross. Actually, it is disgusting.
Oh, that makes me feel sick.
I didn't know it was made out of human skin.
The thing is, there's so much human skin to go around. I feel like we should use some of it.
Do you know what? You can go very off-piste with small leather goods.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm always saying that to my friends in the S&M community. No, there is too much in your wallet.
Oh,
There is at the moment.
Too much?
I've got too many receipts in there and too many coins.
It's an envelope. I thought it was a brown envelope.
There is, yeah. I did.
Got a brown envelope in your wallet.
I think I might have put that in because I
But
thought,
an envelope is a wallet.
That's true. That is true.
It's so bulging. I'd use that as a footrest. That's a perf you've got there.
Wherever you put that on your person, it's going to be unsightly.
Too much.
Wow, maybe.
My mate, I saw my mate after
Maybe
he'd
it's got
done a
double
show the other
usage.
day, and he came into a bar in jogging bottoms. I mean, that turned my stomach. Wandering about in a theatre
don't-
bar in a
I-
pair of grey jogging
I'm
bottoms.
all right with that.
Oh, the head of Absolute Radio did that once. He still denies it.
I'll tell
He
you
came
what
in here once in jogging bottoms.
I hate on the
honest.
wallet front is that I can't cope nowadays with a wallet in a back pocket.
Oh no!
Male or female, I want to see
Oh.
that. Even if in a fat bloke, I still want to see the curvature of the buttock. and the worst thing is when
Why
people.
do you want to see it?
I just do. And when people are habitual wallet wearers in the back pocket, they get like a shape
Oh,
in the
I don't
back
like that
pocket.
at all.
It might have taken a corner of the pocket out with its sharp walletness.
No.
I hate that.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
Anyway, this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio nowadays with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Text the show on 81215. Love it if you did.
Oh.
Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Up to you. Or you can email the Absolute Radio website direct.
You've got a bit Cheltenham FM.
That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, nothing
And
wrong with it.
they are texting in, but mainly about whether or not it's appropriate to wear football shirts after a certain age.
That's an interesting point.
And we seem to have started a text as, where do you keep your wallet? What's your wallet like?
It's a pickpocket's guide.
We've had an email from Alex Mead saying, "Hi Frank and gang, I'm a back pocket wallet kind of guy. Just had a thought would it appease Frank if I had two with even distribution between the two? One in the right pocket for cash and in the left for sundries, brown envelopes, etc. A clip is just too camp, and where would you put your stamps?"
No, I'm not backing the clip. I just think that there's a reason that the human bottom is curved the way it is. It's so that, it has
have a look at it.
even the ones we might think have got out of control still look pretty good. Like the mandrill. The mandrill ape.
Yeah.
His face looks like he's behind, so that he's always attractive back and front. I just think I notice it.
Got a
I
bit
think
Desmond Morris today.
It looks wrong in a back pocket.
Yeah.
I used to do it myself.
you?
I'm like John McVicker now. I had a life of crime, and now I've become a sociologist. But I just think it doesn't look great. I see people with the back phone, I see attractive women, back phone in the pocket.
Oh no!
What are you doing?
What
You're
about-
spoiling everything?
What about iPhone in the front pocket? Oh.
I don't mind that.
I'll do
Obviously, it makes you infertile. But hey, if you're going to make an omelette, you probably would make an omelette if you did that regularly.
True enough.
771. But Frank, think of the poor trainee pickpockets. If people didn't carry wallets in their back pockets, where would they start?
Well, do they go for back? Because I'd have thought that it's quite hard to get one out of a back pocket. I suppose if you've been sitting down, that's another danger. Sitting down a long time and you've had a bit of numbness, someone could just come and take the wallet straight out and you wouldn't know a damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about having one on wheels? That's the modern thing now, isn't it? Just have
Oh,
one
wallet.
dragged
Massive
behind
wallet
you.
on wheels.
As people can't carry anything anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
Lyndon Hughes has also
Lyndon
texted us.
Hughes used to play midfield for West Bromwich Albion.
Well, he says, Frank, on the subject of shirts, I was at the theatre last week and a lady in her 50s was wearing a replica shirt. This was wrong on so many levels. One, she was over 50.
I thought he was going to say there's so many levels. The upper circle.
Stalled.
2, it was an XXXXL size.
Wow.
3, it was a Chelsea shirt with Torres on it. 4, it was in Liverpool.
Oh dear.
Blimey, I'd like to know what they'd gone to see.
Well, so would I. Lyndon texted him.
Yeah, Lyndon do.
She just
Lyndon
kept that.
do.
She'd kept that Torres shirt, maybe.
Maybe.
Can be bothered to buy a new one.
I was once in my local bank and somebody was having an interview with the bank manager in a Man City shirt. I just thought, I'm not sure that's appropriate.
Yeah, well, you know,
That's like when I
they're a big money club.
I saw someone pull up at the job centre in a black cab. I respected that person.
I saw someone pull up at the supplementary benefit signing on place in a coal wagon. And he came
Was this
in.
1902?
That was just when I was signing on in the 70s. He came in, I mean, as black with dust, with coal dust, clearly working. Couldn't be more clearly working. Left a big sooty paw print on his signing on thing and then went. I don't know what's happened to this country. It's nowhere near as funny as it used to be. Oh, anyway.
But the fundamental point is the jury's out on the football shirts. But I agree. I think that does make people feel sick.
Yeah, wallets, football. The trouble is, I'm struggling now to tell people things like that because it's so easy, isn't it? If you think of yourself as straight talking, but people get hurt.
Yeah.
I've got a terrible example I'll share with you.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Well, you're going to tell us about you recently insulted someone. I don't think I can bear it.
Well, I don't think I did insult them, but they took it surprisingly badly.
I feel ill already.
This is my second Daisy anecdote of the day.
Oh, no.
Daisy's working with me on another radio show
Ooh,
at the
get
moment
you.
for BBC Radio 4. Now, if anyone's just flicking through the channels, I think, that was BBC Radio 4. Never mind. We've lost, one person?
Yeah. I've gained a few.
Yeah. Exactly. So, I'm doing I've mentioned this before, I'm doing a history radio show. So,
You did mention that in the past.
Oh.
Perfect.
I'm sorry, I think there's a problem with my microphone.
With the Foxy historian.
With a historian. Nevertheless. So Daisy everyone was talking about history, because when you're with an historian, you talk about history, that's what you do. And Daisy said, well, actually, I went to school, and one of the teachers was related to Florence Nightingale. And we said, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, no, it might have just been, she might have been making it up, I suppose. Or it might have been a myth. I said, well, it's odd, because I was thinking that you're making it up in order to join in with the history conversation in some way.
What's wrong with you?
No, but it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was a joke, but it was a sort of an
I
experiment.
wouldn't say it was a joke either.
No, it was a sort of an experiment, I suppose, in fact. And
Experiment on people like this.
And I thought it was nothing compared to everyone's in place now. In the league table of terrible things to say to someone you work with. But,
Where does it come in terms of, I don't think you've ever lied to me before, but now I think you have?
but
which I believe you said to me
but
once.
Daisy went slightly scary.
Did she? What did she do?
I remember there used to be girls at school who walked around, but with their arms folded while they were walking. Do you remember those girls?
Yeah.
I was that girl.
Yeah, they look a bit scared. And she went a bit hand on hip and angular. And she said, I should walk out of here right now.
Wow.
And she said, outer. She said, outer, instead of, she said, I should walk out of here. right now.
Right.
Oh, yeah. It
Bit
went-
Landan.
it was very... it was like Bronwell High. If you remember that animated series that I don't know if it's ever broadcast. But anyway, yeah, it was. It was very,
What
like,
did you say?
baseball baseball cap turn around the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
I backed off, I'll be honest with you.
Did you?
Did she get all beef in your face?
She she was standing in a doorway, so she was silhouetted.
Oh,
I should
no.
walk at here right now. Oh, blimey, it's very urban. It's too urban for me. I'm not saying I don't do urban, but I don't do it to that extent.
No.
Wow.
Good to have a rule.
I think you got your
So it's
just desserts.
it's put
You
me
know
on
what I'm
then.
saying? I think it was deserved.
And then I was leaving a London, a private club in London.
This isn't another Daisy story. You've got
No, it's not
mentioned with her.
It's not Daisy. And I opened the door for a woman,
Yeah.
and she just walked through. So I stood and I just stared at her in the face. And she said, yes. And I said, I was waiting for you to say thank you. And
You
she said,
did not say that.
Yeah.
Good.
And she said, I've got a headache.
Not the first time you'd heard that week.
Yeah.
Did you say to her, I wasn't thinking things were going to go that far. I was just opening the door for you.
I backed off. I'm losing my nerve in social confrontations. No, I think that's one of the things that makes me sick when you hold the door open for someone
Oh, really?
and they don't say thank you.
Sick rather than fed up. Fed up to the back teeth.
Furious and sick.
Yeah, incandescent.
I just think it's
Yeah,
so
but it's not as
easy.
bad as a jean hanging over a shoe and making contact with the earth.
I worked with somebody the other
Well.
night, had a button-down collar shirt, and they'd left the buttons undone on the collar. Oh,
Oh.
Oh,
come on.
I just don't like a button-down collar shirt. It's a bit.
What?
It's a bit. They think it's all over.
Do you think?
Yeah, it is.
I don't like pretty much any man in a sock other than Frank Skinner.
In a sock.
Yeah, I don't like men in socks. It's
do you
just a
mean?
bit
What do you
creepy.
mean?
I don't like a bare sock. I like them to have bare feet or shoes. I don't like socks. Only Frank, he looks quite cute in them.
What,
Any
to
other
walk
men are a bit
about in?
creepy. Yeah.
Do you mean with shoes?
No, they can have shoes. I don't like socks on their own.
So if I kicked off my desert boots and started padding around this studio, you'd feel a bit sick?
I'd vomit.
Oh,
everywhere.
I like it. I think it's.
Yeah, but you're allowed. I've given you a pass.
How can I put it? Cosy. One of my things as well is if people say, well, it's like everything, isn't it? I'll always pick up something like a biro and say, well, is it like that? It's a stranger. I mean, people I barely know. Oh, I am a bit... As someone once said in a text of the show, I am a bit of a git.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Am I right in thinking we're going to sashay onto email corner?
Oh,
Shall we,
hold. Oh, a little bit of a blip. Email corner. I like that, though.
It's like it's had a remix.
Bit worried about that. Email corner.
It's when I used to go to like nightclubs and a record
you?
jumped and the DJ would occasionally go, "It's had a remix." I always liked it's had a remix.
I like the one who asks questions of the lyrics.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what day is it? Friday night and the lights are low. Where are we off to? Going out to
Oh, what are these nightclubs you went to?
That's what they were like in the 70s, I'm
Yeah,
afraid.
the ones
Yeah.
Frank goes to now are different. He's part of the community.
Yeah.
Emails. Dear Frank, Emily and Alan, I don't know about you, but I love a good world record. This week, the record was broken for smashing walnuts by headbutting them.
Oh,
155 in 1 minute.
Wow.
That is a lot.
isn't it? 1
That's
minute.
brilliant.
I mean, I don't even think I could do
do
55
they
in 1
do
minute.
one at a time, or do they?
I could do about 13.
You think you could do 13 in 1 minute?
Yeah.
I don't think I could do one if I tried for a night. Not with a headbutt.
No.
Well, I can't. Is it? What I'd like to be able to do is to break a walnut without breaking the knot.
Oh.
Have you ever done that?
Oh yeah. When it
don't know if
comes
this
out
chap has
completely
done
clean. I love that. It has happened.
That's never happened to me. You get the top come off, and
Yeah.
the walnut looks like it's in the bath. You know, it looks like it's in a bath with a bit of a film, bit of a nasty brown film on the top of
Oh
the bath.
yeah, when it's
Yeah.
the butterfly shape. I love the butterfly shape.
Yeah, and
Nice.
but I find it impossible to get it without the...
It's quite messy. There's collateral damage, there's no doubt, with the walnut.
It's difficult, but imagine if you're headbutting it. I mean, the scope for delicacy.
Apparently,
nice.
after
Very
he did that,
interesting.
the guy went out for a night out and he went to watch the Nutcracker. He didn't, he had a headache. This got me thinking about aspirations. I know a lot of people would like to hold a world record or win a medal, but my life's ambition is to be a bit part actress on a crime programme as a corpse, or to be the lady a magician saws in half. Do you have anything you would love to do?
I'll tell you what, I'd like to speak to a psychiatrist about those ambitions.
Do you think? I don't think it's that difficult. She just likes to lie down, this woman. She
but can
wants
I
to play
say-
a corpse or be sawed in half.
Sawn
It's
in
just
half or be a corpse.
One of
quite
my parents-
reclining.
Terrible dark yearning.
One of my parents' friends was on a crime programme, because that's what you happen. That's what happens when you get
I
older.
thought
and you're
all
an
of your
actor.
parents were on crime
Yeah.
programmes, weren't
No, he played security guard in Crime Watch. And there was a
Nice.
theft of a painting, and he went, "Oi, what are you doing?" But he sounded a little bit too rada to be a security guard.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
My granddad hanged somebody in a pub in Newcastle.
Terrible story.
Yeah, he did. He threatened to hang this bloke, and the bloke suggested he was
You
bluffing.
sure you want to reveal this on
So
national radio?
he got a rope over a beam, and
It's a terrible story.
the bloke didn't die.
Oh,
in
how
the end,
reassuring for his family.
in the end, my grandfather was restrained. but he
Seems to be something of a theme in your family.
what hanging
Oh, in the end they were restrained.
on a good night.
That's
Anyway,
your crest.
I can't remember where that came from. That
Came from our life's ambitions.
Oh yes, yes. I'd
be
like to hang
restrained.
someone in a Newcastle public house. What's our ambitions? Is that the?
Yeah.
No, it's just, is there anything that you'd love to do that you haven't done yet?
I
You've met them all, Frank, really. You've done
I
it
actually
all.
think, that, you know, I probably know a magician or two that saw people in half. We could make this dream come true, couldn't we?
Yeah, I'd like
If
to.
we really worked hard for it.
I'll tell you what I'd like to be able to do. I'd like to be
What?
able to do one of those big whistles.
What's
You know
that?
when people put two fingers in their mouth?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's
I can
normally
do
different
that.
reasons in my case.
Yeah. No, but I don't mean to make yourself sick. I mean, you know, when we'll see a cab and they
yeah.
go, I can't do it.
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh,
You can do
let's
it.
I'd like to be
hear.
able to do it without the fingers, though.
He said he can do it, but he
You
hasn't
better
done
not.
it.
You better not do it straight into the microphone.
No,
Do it
exactly.
like
It'll
that.
ruin the whole thing,
Or
won't
there'll
it?
be dogs
You want me to
throwing
do that?
themselves at people's
Let's
French
see.
windows.
Oh,
Go on, yeah.
go on. Oh, that was lovely.
Not bad. It was a little bit reedy.
I felt a freeze-thaw in my stomach.
I felt it was more reed than brass. That's what I felt. But I
Well,
liked it.
Oliver.
Come back to that.
I loved
I'll see
it.
Emily try this in a minute.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
We've just had a text. Hi all, I salute magpies too, but once saw 27 magpies on my school football pitch and didn't know what to do. What do 27 magpies mean?
I think it
Charlie?
only goes up to 10.
What, there's a rule?
Yeah, I think the song only goes up to 10.
Oh, is it based on a song?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the song. I've not
You
heard
know,
it.
1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for girl, 4 for a boy, 5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for a secret never to be told, 8 to wish, 9's a kiss, 10 is a bird you must not miss.
That's the first time I've ever heard that in my life.
Anyone wants to download that for a ringtone, it's there, nothing. It's all
have
yours.
it.
It's all yours.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yes.
Should we go on
Well,
to
there was
email
that doll.
too?
There was that doll I was bought at the time. Carry on.
Dear Frank, the wonderful Emily, and Lecoq. Listening to Frank discussing the demise of daydreaming due to smartphones, I thought I'd share with you a daydream I've been having consistently for the last 14 years.
Wow.
I'm now 31. Oh, moi aussi. And this serial daydream all started at 17 when I broke through at Portsmouth
I'd already worked that out. I did the math
Yeah.
and became a key player in the first team.
at Portsmouth.
Yes.
It's a hell of a daydream.
My pro-
Start small.
Yeah.
My pro footballer daydream may not sound unusual, but the level of intricate detail and longevity surprises even me. Having moved from Portsmouth to Arsenal in 2001 and had several good seasons at the Gunners, I roomed with Sylvain Wiltord.
Oh.
Aim high.
Yeah.
I like that you didn't go for Thierry Henry.
No, Sylvan Wiltord, we have discussions about being on the brink.
On many away trips, intense chap, I now find myself in the final 18 months of my contract with Barcelona.
Oh.
That's a coincidence, because in my daydream, I think I've mentioned before, I had quite a long spell at Barca. I was written off by West Bromwich Albion when I was about 35. And Barca came in, and I went over there. I spoke fluent Catalan.
Nice. Handy.
Got the crowd on my side. And, no, this is absolutely true not true, but it's in my daydream. I played for Barca, and I'm now, even I had to, I played at the top level till I was 53. And I came back as, I remember I was on the tube. I was on the tube the day I came back as manager and was shown to the crowd. I nearly missed my stop. It's very emotional. But I'm not making it up now, absolutely detailed. And now when I go to the toilet now, I'm usually doing pre and post match interviews as the manager of Barcelona.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that must be.
They're all right. They're fine with it.
What, your family having to listen to you?
The 78 journalists I have in the lavatory with me. What you don't want is like 50 microphones in your face when you're on the toilet.
Oh.
But I suppose if they're going to be anywhere, they'd best be in your face.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, I often idle away an hour or two deciding on what to do when my deal expires. I'm thinking the Middle East or the US for one final payday.
Well, I'll tell you, I went to Japan after the World Cup and disappeared for about 3 months. Yeah, there was like a big media hunt to find me. This is in the day. This is the daydreams. What happened is the manager,
media hunt.
The England manager was involved in a scandal, and last minute I had to play and manage England through the tournament. But I got 4 goals in the final.
Oh, I can imagine
just
him
the 4.
Yeah.
unzipping the top like Glenn Hoddle.
No.
When they come on and it's all dramatic, the player manager.
Yeah. But what finished me off was the Champions League game at Barca, I missed the penalty in a penalty shoot at the post. There's a fantastic photo of me just standing looking at the ball where it's rebounded back.
The amount of effort that's gone into it. You could have written 3 lines 5 times over.
I know, it is incredible, but I love daydreaming. Look, let me put it this way. If we were sitting in here with Gary Lineker and he was recounting his career with Barcelona or whatever, would it be... What's the difference between his memories and mine?
What has happened?
Yeah.
He's not a liar.
No, but now...
Yeah.
Now, they're the same thing. Now they're just words. They're just word pictures.
So what's this a philosophy question?
Yeah,
or?
I don't see that my career with Barcelona is inferior in any way to Gary Lineker.
I'll ask you both to play football and then we'll be the judge of that.
When he was playing, fair enough, but now it's all just stories. Anyway.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've had a text in from Peter McEldowney.
Did you finish the last email?
No.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry.
In conclusion.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
He says, we should say...
Gone to all that trouble of a detailed daydream about his career at Barca.
This is from Ben, from Surrey, we should say, and he's 31. So, he continues... San Jose earthquakes have made inquiries. I say San Jose, you might say Jose. I don't know.
Well, that's one of the great mysteries, is why Jose Mourinho is Jose and not Jose.
He's changed my whole perception.
We spent,
my axis has shifted.
We spent years learning to do these foreign footballers and football people's names.
Right, Nigel Farage.
No, it's true though, isn't it?
These foreign footballers.
No, but you know what I mean? In the early days, when I remember Jimmy Hill talking about Eric Cantona. And, it wouldn't have been Terry Henry, wouldn't it, in the old day?
Yeah.
And then we've all made an effort.
Yeah.
We do all this... And then, having learned the for the Jose's... Then Jose Mourinho comes and it's Jose again. We're going back to square one.
Yeah.
Which is... Have you done that deliberately? You know that back to square one, that phrase comes from football on the radio.
Does it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
sometimes I sometimes think there's a little comedian in me who's working separately.
Oh yeah.
It's like Rob Brydon's Man in
Because
the Box.
sometimes I dream things that really make me laugh, things like one-liners.
Oh,
Where
wow,
are they
that's
coming
good.
from?
I love the idea of a little man, like a numbskulls in a bow tie and a waistcoat, a little comic in your brain.
Yeah.
Someone's texted he's Portuguese, not Spanish. Yeah, we know that. Nobody said he's Spanish.
Oh, well, he speaks English in the dreams. Now, maybe that point, I'm giving this person the benefit of the doubt, is that maybe the Portuguese don't maybe they j.
Right.
Well, I don't want to talk about that. Anyway, San Jose earthquakes have made inquiries, so I do have some options. So I just wanted to assure Frank that daydreaming is still thriving in my mind, with one lasting for over a decade. From what started as a youngster at Portsmouth has gone off on tangents which have taken me to some wonderful tapas restaurants on the outskirts of Barcelona.
Yeah.
Excellent.
To do
Well,
it,
we must have been teammates at some point. Ben and I. We must
That's
have been.
nice. He's going to have to go back and redo some of his daydreams with you as a teammate.
I have to say, I don't. I
That'd be a
mean,
week
no
for him.
disrespect. I don't recall him on any of the England trips.
no, but he does say, I've been doing my badges so I can embark on a coaching career in the future.
You see, I got onto the wire. There's a bit of jiggery pokery with the Spanish FA, and I didn't do any of my badges.
Didn't do the badges.
I
got
just
the gig.
came in. Yeah, I also wrote a 4-volume autobiography.
Well, could I refer you again to Peter McEldowney's text, who says, I don't see how my career with Barcelona is inferior to Gary Lineker's, is my favourite thing that anyone has ever said, ever.
Well, thank you for that, but I honestly think it is a serious philosophical point.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
I have a news story that I'd like to bring to your attention, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
This sounds like somebody's died the way you've done that.
No.
I have a news story.
I think this is a
Martial
story
music playing.
I think this is a story that may resonate with you, because if you'll forgive me for saying so,
Yeah.
mano a mano, eye-to-eye contact, Frank, you have got a terrible sense of direction.
I
We go to the same,
absolutely acknowledge
we go
that.
to the same cafe
You really
or similar
have.
cafes every week after the show, and you need to be steered towards it even 5 years into the show.
It is true.
It's amazing. I have a theory
It's
that
a terrible thing.
I have a theory that you've used up a lot of your brain on other stuff, and there's just not room to keep in.
Well, I
like
spoke
the route to a
I
cafe.
spoke to a psychologist once at a party.
About this. Is it
Yeah.
that bad?
About my sense of direction.
Yeah.
And she said people that don't crawl when they're babies, some go just from sitting to walking.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
And she said the crawling stage is when you develop your sense of direction. So if you miss the crawling, I asked because my parents are dead, so I couldn't ask them. So I asked my sister. I said, "Do you remember me crawling?"
What does she say?
She said in the 80s.
The Perno years.
Yeah, but she said
I love
she
the
couldn't.
Perno years.
She couldn't remember me crawling as a baby, but that
No.
might be she just can't remember. It's, I mean, awful. I'm doing this show. I'm doing with Daisy at the moment, the history show. I have to be led around the theatre.
Oh dear.
We've had a
think-
lovely text in. I was just going to say, Al, about daydreaming. This is from Francis. Dear Frank, Divine Miss M and the Cockerel, I don't know if this has been covered before, but re-daydreams. I often daydream about confronting people who've been unpleasant to me. However, I often somehow lose control of the daydream and I become genuinely upset by the things the confrontee says to me, even though the words must have come from my own head. I find it genuinely difficult not to hold these imagined insults against them in real life. I do hope some of the other readers experience this and can share my insanity, otherwise I've made a very great fool of myself.
I often wonder that, you know. I think if you have a dog and it dreams that you're hitting it with a stick, could it wake up and rip your throat out?
Francis is listening to our show all the way from Austria, as I'm studying abroad in Vienna this year.
Well, it means nothing to me.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Text us on 81215. We've had some goodies today.
We have.
And follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email us through the Absolute Radio website. We've had good email. You know, I love our people. I'm sometimes cynical on this show, but I love our people.
Just before we crossed the hour, and you had to do your little bit of housekeeping there, we were discussing we were discussing your terrible sense of direction. I have a story that I think is germane. An Australian man.
Can I tell you a story first before we get into this?
Well, can I tell you a story that is germane?
I took my.
It's about Pennant, so hold your horse.
I'm taking my. Well, he was all right, Jermaine Pennant, with a bad sense of direction. He was tagged for quite a while. They're always going to find him. Maybe that's my secret. I need to cause some minor offences.
You need to commit a crime.
I don't mean minor offence. I mean to cause some things. No, I took my little boy swimming with my girlfriend in the car, and she was off away for the weekend, so I had to drop them both at Paddington Station after the lesson, and so I was driving them to the station, and it said 4.3 miles. So I thought, not too bad. It said on the sat nav. I'm using the sat nav.
Yeah,
I'm not bosking it. Anyway, I had a bit of a... What did he used to say?
A bit of trouble.
I had a bit of trouble. And suddenly I noticed that the 4.3 miles to Paddington had turned to 25.2.
Oh dear.
I was on the M1.
You were?
I was.
Were you in a daydream? Were you doing some kind of press interview for Barca? Is that what happened?
What's wrong with you, Frank?
I made an error. And...
oh dear.
An error?
It was very difficult.
That's the day of your life. You'll never get
vehicle?
back.
Was it the vehicle at
Kath
fault?
said, where are we? And I said, oh, God, I'm on the M1. I said, I'm really... You know when you say, I said, that's totally my fault, as if it could have possibly been anyone else. I'm really... She said, I'm going to miss the train. I said, I'm really sorry, sorry. And you know when you say that to someone, and you wait for the little comeback, oh, well, it'd be, worse things happen. Nothing.
Silence.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, and then it's like, It's the least gracious response to a sorry, but it was terrible.
Did you miss the train?
No,
Oh.
I managed to do a handbrake turn.
He floored it
And
just drove it
I rolled
90 in the bus lanes.
I rolled it onto the. No, I didn't. What it didn't allow for. What about this though? For the moment, I said didn't allow for the fact that I could get round on the services. Didn't give me that instruction.
I love this story.
It's a great story. I like any route-based story. But even in that club, that private club I was on about, where I opened the door for the lady,
yeah.
I'm walking around in there where all the doors at the side. I mean, I could open a door. It could be street level. It could be women in towels. I don't know what I'm going to find when I open the door. No idea.
Huge swimming pool, like it's the start of that. What's
Frank
that
lives his
programme?
life like Mr. Ben.
It is,
He just
Penny.
opens a door and
It's
there's
like the Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe.
There's a
like that.
zookeeper suddenly.
Yes.
Anyway,
no
I feel-
idea.
I
Anyway,
feel
what
we've
about...
found a figure that you may identify with.
Okay.
Headline: Man gets lost in his own back garden.
I found that in the 30s.
An Australian man has been rescued by police after getting lost in his own garden while investigating what he thought was a wild dog, it's been reported. The man, identified as self-confessed idiot Jason,
Oh, Jason.
was
He
eventually
in Darwin.
located just 330 yards from his house. Jason said that he'd been watching TV and having a few beers. I think that might be an understatement.
See, I don't have that excuse.
That's
His
unusual for
dog
an Australian.
became agitated. Well, he goes uber Australian. I'm going to quote him. He's soon lost in the scrub, wearing only shorts, uber Australian, with a phone fast running out of battery. Even though he's in his home, he could have been charging it up while sat there, couldn't he? I don't even know how it happened, Jason says.
That's brilliant.
What?
That's
Why
brilliant.
is he South
I turned
African?
to come back, and all of a sudden I was in long grass. I just thought, where the blooming hell am I? I've tidied
Nelson
it up
Mandela,
slightly.
the late Nelson Mandela.
I just thought, where am I? There you go. Did a little bit of...
Professional actor. 3 years at drama school.
I thank you.
The only person about to start in a huge series. And I think, Frank, I want to hear your Australian. I think it's going to be a bit better.
What? That was good.
Sorry.
I only went Mandela on
What
purpose
about
at the end.
this one then? A dingo took my baby. What do you think?
I think that's even worse.
It's got a dark edge to it, I'll admit.
Your drongo. He
did get
say
called a drongo
He got
by a
called a
news
drongo
station.
by locals.
That's so Australian, isn't it? That even the news stations are
think
calling him a drongo.
I think he's a star. I do. I think he's a drongo star. Do you remember him in the Beatles?
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Oh, I'll tell you what I've got to tell you boys about. I've been a bit of a girl about town this week.
Uh-oh.
I had my night out. My gay godfather has a theatre production on in this
Do you have
country.
one of each?
Yeah. No, just the one.
Okay, I
He
think
has
gay one's
a
straight.
show on. Well, gay godfathers, they're the best ones.
Yes.
You know, no children.
Unless you really focus on the God bit, of course.
Well, they can have children, I should say, but I'm just saying ticket sales are good and the inheritance is looking strong. He is behind Blythe Spirit, which you may have heard has just opened this week.
Hang on, it's
Yes.
Noel Coward that's behind Life.
Well,
He's
this
not
is
Noel
true.
Coward, is he?
No, I wish. No, but that is Sheridan. That was Sheridan Morley's godfather. What a great godfather!
Wow, cool.
I bet he was behind Noel Coward. Anyway, carry on.
So you went to see it, did you?
I did. Mm-hmm. It was a hot ticket. It was a hot ticket for the sort of fedora-wearing fraternity. The
Yeah.
little glasses on a lanyard, Frank. You would have absolutely loved it.
Sounds great. Oh,
There was-
glasses on a lanyard, I know.
Barry Humphries was there.
Was
He
he?
always wears a fedora.
He had a fedora. I
No.
thought, I hope I'm not behind him. That'd be a
No.
nightmare. He's
Did he
tall
keep
as well.
it on? Did he keep
Oh,
it
he
on?
kept it on.
Throughout?
I kept hearing him laughing. Kept hearing this Australian laugh throughout.
Let's hear that, Al. No,
Mike.
Australian laugh.
Yeah, that was the Australian one.
Okay.
I don't know if you could hear it.
Christopher Biggins.
Pardon?
Okay. You're dragging it down a little bit. Still
Yeah.
Safari so goody.
Very good.
Thanks.
Anita Dobson.
No, respect.
Okay.
Are these all
There was that
people that
one,
you
that's
saw
that one really
in
good
the
episode
audience?
with just
Yeah.
Dan and the window cleaner. That was excellent.
It's that crowd, though. Elaine Page.
Brian May there with her?
Oh, wow. You couldn't miss him. No, I didn't
Well, you
see...
could next to Anita Dobson. It could have just been double vision.
Yeah, but I sat behind him at David Baddiel's, the premiere of David Baddiel's The Infidel, and it was awful. I couldn't see a thing.
Well, no, exactly. It's like peering into a nudist colony through hedgerow. If you
Anyway.
I don't know if you've ever done that.
Oh, it's one of my hobbies.
Do they still call them colonies? I don't think so. That's a great thing. Why was it that the nudist colony, like they'd moved in and taken over an area by force?
Well, talking of colonies, my gay godfather is Australian, and he was sort of meet and greeting, as you do as the producer in the foyer, before the curtain went up, before she went up, as they
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah.
And Cameron McIntosh, well-known theatre producer, he came over, shook my
Impresario.
shook my godfather's hand. He said hello. He said, "Can I say it's so wonderful to have you here." After he'd gone, I said to my godfather, "That's a bit patronising, just because you're from Australia. It's wonderful to have you in our country."
Yeah.
My godfather said, "He owns the theatre."
Brilliant.
Embarrassing. I didn't realise.
Excellent.
And it was Angela Lansbury.
She was
Oh.
amazing.
Can I just tell you
She
something?
gets
When
a
I
round of
did
applause
15,
when she comes on.
does she?
Yeah.
When
She does.
I should think so at her age.
Yeah.
I was when I
Second
was
half is slightly louder.
when I did 15 to 1, there was one of the answers to the questions was Angela.
Was it?
And the person didn't get it, and Adam Mills said Angela Lansbury, and the audience went, oh, like with proper affection. It's lovely, lovely Angela Lansbury.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
So I'm telling you about Angela Lansbury in Blythe Spirit. She was great. I mean, she's 88. So sprightly. You do get nervous when they come on, the elderly, though. I thought, oh no, is she going to dry or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that old
Did you
actress.
say dry?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is she going to die? I suppose.
It's a Tommy Cooper moment.
She got through it. She was formidable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was most excellent, yeah.
Is there a sense that everybody in the audience is thinking this is a Tommy Cooper show, though? Is there? Is there, though? I mean, I saw it last night, and when she came on in the second half, I was thinking, oh, good. Not
You saw it last night?
You saw it last night?
I saw it last night. I went last
Come
night.
on, I missed out on the Blythe Spirit
You
gang.
didn't tell me you went.
Well, here's the thing, guys.
What's the deal?
The male lead in
What's
it
the
is in a
411?
sitcom with myself, and so I went in a little group
He's
with
very good.
some other actors that I worked with. 59 quid a ticket, though, and that was May's rates,
Was that your
apparently.
Australian?
No, that's just my angry.
Oh, sorry.
Did you have to buy tickets?
Oh, that's a bit mean, isn't it?
What, they're for sale, theatre tickets?
How
You know what?
extraordinary.
From what I've heard, one day you'll inherit a little bit of that 59 quid. That's what I'm hearing.
Should have just given it to me direct.
Oh, God, yeah. Yes, Charles, who I was
Your
in the
idea
sitcom
is
with.
to eliminate the middleman.
Who's that a quote?
It's Oliver
Oliver Hardy.
Hardy. Says it. From when they're going to buy a boat to go fishing.
Ah, yes.
So you went as well?
Yeah, it's very posh though, isn't it? It is very posh. I noticed that it was really posh because she uses the word trance a lot, and she says trance, and every time I thought trance. Every single time.
Did you?
Yeah, but enough about your raving days.
Yes, indeed.
I'm sorry, but for me there'll only ever be Dame Margaret Rutherford in that role.
Is that right?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, could we possibly sound any camper on Absolute Radio this morning?
Well, let's have a go, shall we?
Yeah, this week they discussed the
Well, I'm not serving her. How was that?
They do say, when the curtain goes up sometimes, the glass is on a lanyard locked, they go, oh, she's up.
She's
Lovely.
up.
I love
Nice.
that. She's up.
So what else?
So it was a lovely evening. Well, I'm glad you were there as well, Al. Sorry I didn't see you.
It was pleasant and very good.
It was like
guess
me and
what?
Ben being in the same Barcelona squad and never speaking.
Yeah.
Frank, I also used Absolute Radio as my dressing room.
Oh.
Because I come here first and I change.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't do my zip up, though. So I had to get assistance from one of the male DJs and the security guard.
How big was the zip?
Joking.
The zip went the
Two
whole
men?
length.
Took two people to zip
I
you
went
into
to ask the
this?
security guard and then I got a bit embarrassed as well. So Pete Donaldson did it up for me.
Hang on. So you got embarrassed and brought in another person to look at. Hang on, that seems
Sounds like
counterintuitive.
it's like closing an enormous suitcase, it sounds like.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
Already dealt with a long daydream about playing for Barcelona. I have another email here. Dear Frank, hearing your Wimbledon daydream story reminded me.
What was that?
You had a Wimbledon one as well, where you played with no badges and no sponsorship.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
won.
that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
I deliberately, I even sanded the logo off my racket.
Wooden rackets.
Yeah, wooden racket.
Wooden rackets.
Wouldn't take any sponsorship at all.
It's good of you, innit? It's good of you.
Shopped at the market to avoid brands.
That sounds about right.
Hearing your Wimbledon daydream story reminded me when we were young, my elder sister bet me 10 shillings, ! That she would play at Wimbledon one day, the championships, not just on a court. She's now 55 and lives in Australia, so probably won't hear this, but the last time I mentioned the bet and offered to calculate its current value, she replied that there was still the veterans competition to consider. Does she actually play tennis? No. And that's from Hillary. Good work on the bet.
It's interesting that because my nephew moved to Australia, took his children, and one of the kids who'd never picked up a tennis racket in his life, when he went to school in Australia, tennis is very much pushed. And now he's playing at a really high level.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. He's like state level. And he probably would never have found out if he'd remained in the West Midlands. What about that?
Yeah?
I've often thought about what a brilliant skier I might be. I might not even the potential. I might actually be at that top level without
It's
just
like
straight off.
skiing
You just
now.
have a crack
you're good
at it.
Yeah, no, but I could because I've never tried it.
You can't just have everything.
You know, I've said before on this show that I think I've got a natural aptitude for the pole vault. I think it looks easy.
I think
to
you
me.
have.
I reckon I could do that.
Look
it's just
at you.
bending
No,
a big
he hasn't.
Yeah.
jumping in it. Just
Yeah,
let
but
go at
Frank's
the right
skiing,
point.
that's
How hard can it
stretched
be?
too far.
I could imagine pole vaulting with the cockerel. instead of a
Using me
pole.
as the pole.
You'd have to help me a bit down the wrong way.
If we had to be good at a sport, what would I be good at? I'm afraid I'm going to have to be the shot put.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Come on, Emily. I think it's deadlifts, isn't it?
Yeah, but the pert posterior, you see, that's always going to be a slight issue with certain sports.
Not for
Yeah.
the
The big
deadlift.
posterior. Oh,
It's
yeah.
helpful for the deadlift.
You said pert
Squats.
posterior there.
It is pert as well.
Big and pert.
Yeah, it happens.
What a double that they were.
They were good.
Hello, I'm big and I'm pert. Yes, they were great. I love that bit they did about when they did like the Western spoof.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, brilliant. So yes, well, I like the idea of predicting because there was that bloke, wasn't there, who won a lot of money on his son when he said he'd play for England by a certain
yeah.
age.
Oh, is that right?
What about we'll have a bit of a readers thing. I predict that my son Boz will be a professional stand-up comedian by the time he's 25.
Wow.
I mean, successful,
That's good.
doing well. And if I'm wrong,
Those tiger mothers.
if we get some names now and draw one out of a hat, if I'm wrong, then at that, if he doesn't make it, the prize for that person is they can name anyone in their life and I'll assassinate them.
You're going to have a bit of a job in 25 years.
Well, that's it. I've got nothing to lose.
I think
I'm happy to just run into them and bite their throats out. I don't care about being caught. Forget it. You know, so what? What, are you going to put me in prison? I'm in my late 70s. Bring it on, I'll say. Bring it on! Whoa, bring it on! What do I care? I notice as you get older, you get a sort of American accent as well. How does that happen? I don't care anymore about my life. He's dead, and there was a competition winner. What could I do?
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've had an email entitled "Did I Hear Right?" which I opened with misgivings. I'm not going to lie. I thought, what have we said?
Yeah.
Dear, in alphabetical order, ladies first, Miss Emily, Mr. Allen, and Mr. Frank.
Okay.
Did I hear right a little while ago? Did Mr. Frank say that he took his son and girlfriend swimming in his car? I feel this is a bit odd, as wouldn't it ruin the upholstery?
Well, that is deliberately misinterpreting what I said for comic purposes.
Think so?
Yeah.
I love it when they do that.
I like what he's done there. That's from Mitch Mitchell. He says not
Mitch
that
Mitchell?
one. Who's Mitch Mitchell?
He did, well, I never felt more like singing the blues. I never thought, and at Waterloo.
You're quite the one-man band, aren't you?
Thank you very much.
He sounds a bit unwell.
The first version of it sounded like the aging Frank
They're
that
two
was
different
being
songs.
tried for a crime.
Oh, yeah.
I should say there have been a couple of people who want to take you up on that offer.
Oh, okay. But they have got, they can't do it until Boz is...
No, Steph says I'll take that bet because I know who I want you to assassinate in 25 years.
All right. Well, that's interesting because that's assuming whoever it is, they're not going to be that dangerous and sprightly at 25 years. None of us are.
Good point. Anyway, bringing us down on
yourself.
Absolute.
Mad.
Map surgery I plan on having. Don't you believe what you see. I would like to read an email, Frank. I'm going to call it email 4. This is from Michael Leslie.
Oh, yeah.
He says, Dear Frank...
Strangely, the names of the two Grade brothers.
Correct.
Yeah.
Do you think he's a
Two
theatrical?
more cigar aficionados.
Yeah.
Dear Frank, Emily, brackets delightful, and Alan.
No brackets, no.
Catching up over podcasts, it struck me that you've been involved in some surreal situations. The two that stick in my mind are you appearing on a bill where Ron Atkinson... I should say he's directing this to Frank, not me. Appearing on a bill where Ron Atkinson closed the show singing My Way, and you attending Wembley with Tony...
Also accompanied only by Nigel Kennedy on the violin.
Sounds quite mournful.
Yeah, it was a bit mournful.
Can I continue?
Yes, of course.
And you attending Wembley with Tony the Tiger, who then left at half-time.
Yes, he had, as he said to me, I'm sorry, I feel terrible, I got heat stroke last week as the Pink Panther.
Other than comedy itself...
He's a feline specialist.
And excluding alcohol-induced, when has your comedy taken you to situations where you've paused and thought, is this really happening? How did I end up here with them doing this? Well, I don't want to go into that. I assume that the incredible Miss M will have some stories from fashion, but I would be really interested if fame has taken you, M or Alan, anywhere along a surreal tangent.
Wow, you can imagine many times.
Many.
What sticks out in your mind?
I think it was backstage with Elvis Costello at the Hammersmith Apollo.
Oh, that's good, Frank.
More soon.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I did say I'd tell the Elvis Costello story, but I don't think we have time. So I'll bookmark it and do it.
So you're going to tell us a surreal story about your
Surreal
showbiz
thing.
career
The thing about
You must
next
have
week?
some.
The thing about a surreal story, was
Yeah.
that times the
Cliffhanger.
clocks... remember the time the clocks melted in here and all those ants were on the wall? No,
Yeah, but I was going out with Salvador at the time.
yeah, no, I do remember that thing about you think, how did I get here?
Yeah.
I did a photo shoot for Loaded, and I was in a jacuzzi with two models,
Oh, absolutely disgusting.
and I turned to one of them and said, I used to work in a factory.
Did you?
Nice.
She looked at me, not with contempt, she looked at me like you might look at a chest of drawers. Not with any... just like, as if
What is this thing?
Not even that. Not even just looked black. Just looked at me like he just observed something, and we moved on.
I had a backstage conversation that lasted 10 minutes with television's Roy Walker wearing no shirt about his stand-up act.
Who was wearing no shirt?
He had no shirt on. He was going, "Do you think I should do more gags, Alan, or stories? I think I'm a..." And I was thinking, how did this happen? You used to be on catchphrase, and now you're asking me for stand-up advice with no shirt on. Very strange.
What's he? How's he looking?
It was about 5 years ago. It was a while. Yeah, he was good.
He's not bad looking.
Yeah, he's
No, I'm thinking about
nice
what, you know.
face.
I'm thinking
What
He had
about
a
the
vest on,
torso.
I think.
Oh, he had a vest on.
What about when I was 8 years old and I said, I don't want to go to Doris Lessing's for lunch. I hate Doris Lessing.
Oh.
Yeah. She was horrible. No, she wasn't. She was a nice woman, but she talked too
but
much.
horrible.
She just talked too much.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had no time for it, yeah.
You should have told him Morris Lessing.
Thanks very much. Good night. That's
Oh dear, oh dear.
You're not topping that. You've got it
Quite
back.
makes sense. It's got a lovely rhythm to it. That's what it's all about. It's like life. It's like life.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. Got a lovely rhythm to it.
What about when I went away with the Arsenal team? Oh, no, wait till...
You can't tell
No.
that.
Again. More is less. Or was it less?
What about
Super.
a fortnight ago when I stayed in a hotel and I'd bought myself like a salad and some steamed mackerel, you know, like in a tin that I tipped into
Oh,
the
yeah.
salad, and then realised that the hotel didn't have any teaspoons, that they'd swapped them and they only had little plastic stirrers, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I had to use 2 of those like chopsticks to eat a salad with fish in my hotel room. And I was thinking, how did it come to this, Alan? How did it come to this stupid
That's
moment?
terrible.
What
Ridiculous.
about when I was misrepresented in the press and didn't do any post-match interviews for 2 seasons? I don't know. I look back and I think, God, get over it. Anyway, look, thank you so much for listening. And you know what? If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.